Alright guys, I got a 2007 Jetta 2.5 manual with a fluctuating idle. It goes up, then drops down, goes up, then drops down, sometimes up to 4,000 RPMs. And here's the code readout. The ones of interest are, you got an intake air system leak P2279, got an idle control RPM high, that's a 507, system 2 lean. Well, I guess if you got air leaking into your intake manifold, well, obviously that's going to lean it up. This one's curious. I might have an additional problem. 113, intake air temperature circuit high input. Maybe that's a broken temperature sensor. Powertrain. Who knows what that means? Alright, well anyways, the problem was solved, or discovered. It hasn't been solved yet. So the diagnostic you can do is when the car is doing its troublesome stuff, while it's running and everything is safe, obviously do this at your own risk and stuff, use your common sense. But I pulled the oil level stick, the dipstick out, and a whole lot of suction of air got sucked into that dipstick. So obviously there's a manifold leak. That's the symptom. Let me get my light on here so we don't have to be in the dark anymore. Here we are at our Jetta. It's my project car. It's routine maintenance project car. Alright, what do I got here? So it was a positive crankcase ventilation. There it is with the cover removed. You can see into your crankcase, and then this is connected to your intake. So this is always wanting to suck when your engine, well, unless your throttle's wide open, this is always trying to suck. So let's dig up the little gadget. I must have left it in the trunk. Wonderful trunk latch release. Didn't even know where that was when I bought the car. Alright, here's the gadget. It's about 12 bucks new on eBay. 16 or so on well, 8 bucks on Rock Auto, and then you have to get shipping. It's Amazon with the great shipping speed is like you could get one between 13 and 20. Alright, so this membrane over the years has gotten torn. So let's try to deduce what's going on. See that long snout? It's got a hole in it. So that actually provides a path to the outside atmospheric pressure to one side of the membrane, this rubber membrane, which is fairly thin, but now it's about a 1/4 inch block of rubber here. And let's try to tell the story. When this is installed, this has a spring which goes about right there. This goes about right there. And then this is like a spring pressure distributor. And that goes on like that. And these snaps, holes, will go into these, and you can see of course that it's angled up like a ramp, so it's higher in the back, and so it snaps in and holds it firmly in there. So that spring is pushing away, so this is not normally blocking the suction hole. Now as the engine is turned on and you start sucking here, it'll create a vacuum inside the entire engine crankcase, but this other side of the membrane is connected to the outside world. So this membrane then gets sucked forward, overcoming the spring pressure, and it goes and covers that hole, thus you stop any more crankcase suction until the pressure becomes greater inside the crankcase. Then once it equals or is just slightly less than the outside air pressure, this falls back away, letting more suction to happen. However, since that membrane was torn, it has the same pressure on both sides of the membrane, and so the membrane itself cannot forcefully move the spring, or forcefully move forward to block the hole. And so you have a fairly high vacuum comparative to normal inside your crankcase, and so your diagnosis of that is to raise this thingamajig and immediately get a whole bunch of air sucking in. Then you know your PCV valve is bad. Now, I did hear online on another YouTube gentleman saying that, well, you got to replace the whole thing. Well, I would counter to say that's a whole heck of a lot more of a job than just popping that off. Now, when you pop that off, you're probably going to destroy it. So just go ahead and destroy this, but try not to destroy what's left on the car, because you're going to get a new one of this anyways. I tried to pop it off as carefully as I could, but I pretty much cracked a number of these in half. You see, it's cracked. It's not going to be reused anyways. So the idle would increase with all the extra air flowing in. Idle would increase, and then the computer would say, oh, the idle's going too high, and you could tell that the engine would then head to lower RPMs as the computer somehow shut the engine, not shut it down, but brought it down to a lower RPM. Then the RPM would rise and go right, boom, right, boom, right, boom. Alright, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching. Oh, yeah, buy a new one of those. Make sure that elephant nostril is pointing downwards. Snap it back together. Make sure you got your pieces all in the right order. Yeah. And obviously my air, that thing on top has been taken off already. The thing you have to pull. I put a dab of grease on each one of these so that it wasn't so difficult to yank it off so much. There's my keep the mice out while I'm waiting for my part to arrive from Amazon. Yeah. I'm trapped. They got the fastest shipping. Well, what else to say? I lost right, the air intake circuit. Maybe that's the thermostat. I'm plugged. Maybe there's some tear in the wire or something. We'll find out. Alright, I guess I'll say goodbye finally.